Hi there! Today I'm talking about independent transaction coordinators versus in-house transaction coordinators. My name is Carrie Jonicus and I am the owner and transaction manager here at Amplify Transaction Services. If you would like to learn more about our company and how we can help you, you can click the link above. Let's get started. Let's go over the differences between an independent transaction coordinator and an in-house coordinator. Let's go ahead and look at the differences between an in-house coordinator versus an independent transaction coordinator. To do this, let's use as an example a realtor that is doing 20 transactions per year. With an in-house coordinator, that coordinator may be working 25 hours a week, let's just say at $18 an hour, which, by the way, would be a lower end of a transaction coordinator's salary per hour. That would be at 25 hours a week, $21,600 a year. That does not include any perks such as any time off that maybe that you would want to pay for, or any vacation time, or any type of incentives for someone who is working in-house. Now let's look at the independent transaction coordinator. This is someone who is not hired in-house to work directly just for you. That independent transaction coordinator is working during business hours when work comes up. They're not limited to a certain amount of hours. It's just however many hours it takes to do the work, they're going to do it. At a transaction fee of $400 per transaction, that means that you are paying $8,000 per year. There's no sick time, no vacation coverage, no benefits whatsoever. And that transaction coordinator, again, is working during business hours. When you have a in-house coordinator, during that day, they're only going to be working, say if they worked 5 days per week, that would be maybe 5 hours a day. So say they came in at 9, they're only going to be working for 5 hours. Whereas your independent transaction coordinator, they're going to be available to you during those business hours. So they may be doing work between the hours of 9 to 5 instead of just your 5-hour workday. Now, of course, your in-house coordinator could save work for the next day when they come in, which they may very well do. But sometimes things come up that need to get done during that day. And your in-house coordinator, once they go home, they go home. They're not doing anything. Whereas your independent transaction coordinator, again, they are there during the business hours to handle the work that comes up as it comes up. And you can see that there is a huge savings. You have $21,600 per year. Again, that is on the low end, or $8,000 per year. You're already saving a great deal. Now, Amplify Transaction Services does have these additional fees in there if a transaction were to cancel, whereas you're not going to have that when you have an in-house coordinator. They're just paid their hourly rate. However, you can see at $8,000 per year, there is a very big gap there between that 8,000 and that 21,000. And even if you paid a cancellation fee, our max cancellation fee is $150. So even if you paid that cancellation fees, you're going to be far away from that 21,600. When business slows, when you have an in-house coordinator, you have to find something to fill their time, or you let them go and then you have no help at all. So you are responsible to create that work for them, and you are managing their time. What are they working on? How are they working on it? That's very time consuming for an agent to have to manage all of that. And you might not want them to do certain things. So you're like, really, I know lots of agents who have done this and they're really struggling to find something for their coordinators to do in the meantime, or they're filling their plates with so many different things. And then they expect that person, even during the busy time, then can do all of that work, which leads to burnout for your in-house coordinator, which then in turns them leaving you and then leaving you to do everything. When you have an independent transaction coordinator, your business slows, no problem. You only pay for the work that the coordinator is doing. There's no need to find additional work to fill their time. An in-house coordinator, you are going to have to provide training and ongoing professional development, tools and systems. All of that is time consuming, costly. You have to spend a lot of time helping your employee in learning those tools, learning those systems, giving them professional development. How are they learning? Our contracts change all the time. So making sure that they understand these contract changes and how they're going to affect the transaction coordinator in their role, and then providing them updated tools and systems. I know a lot of real estate agents and they don't like change. They don't like systems. They don't like tools that they have to do something extra. So these are all things that are going to have to add to your plate as an extra ongoing thing. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, that's fine because I have an operations manager and they handle all of that. There is so much more that your operations manager can be doing other than working on training and growing a TC team to provide all of these things to. For an independent transaction coordinator, there's no training required. We provide the systems and tools, and it's super easy to get started with an independent transaction coordinator. When you are trying to hire an in-house coordinator, you are going through interviews. I've had lots of agents come to me and say, I had 5 interviews this week, one person showed up. You don't have to worry about that. Our coordinators are going to show up. We have the training, the tools, the systems. We can get started usually within the same day. It depends on the agent, of course, because we need some things from you in order to get started, but we certainly have all of the tools and systems ready to get going very quickly. Whereas if you're hiring someone, again, you're going through interviews, you have to do training, you have to get them set up, and then you don't even know if they're going to be able to get in there and do the first transaction without you. Like, you're going to have to kind of handhold them through that transaction, right? You don't need to hold hands with us. We got it. We got you. Again, you're going to have to spend time with a in-house person training and managing the employee to make sure that they're meeting your standards. Usually there's daily meetings or weekly meetings or things that you need to do in order to checking in on their systems, making sure those systems are working appropriately to meet your standards. You don't have to devote more time with an independent transaction coordinator. That time you are going to be able to devote to growing your business. Since you're spending time, you don't have to spend time on training or managing an employee. Is there any savings of having an in-house coordinator? There really isn't. There's no savings. While you're delegating someone else to do certain tasks, you are taking on a new role of providing leadership, which can be time consuming, and in turn, your time is costly. It would be more beneficial to you to spend that time in doing things that will provide you more income, such as spending time with more clients, getting referrals, going out and prospecting for more business. On an independent transaction coordinator, we're talking about a minimum amount of $13,600 savings. Again, that doesn't include any benefits or perks or anything potential that can allow you to potentially double your business. We have seen this time and time again. We have clients come to us and their businesses grow tenfold. Do you want to grow your business, or do you want to keep spending more money and having someone in-house? Now, don't get me wrong. We want to be a part of our agents' teams. We definitely want to be a part of our agents' teams. The only difference is we are controlling our systems and our processes. That doesn't mean that you don't have a say in what you want in your transaction. Some agents want us to schedule inspections for them. Some agents don't. That's where our onboarding calls help to be able to tell you, to get to know how you do your business. We can help you to grow your business as an independent transaction coordinator. The other thing that I will say about an independent transaction coordinator, they are driven by each transaction that they get. An in-house coordinator is not driven. They're not in a hurry to do anything. They're being paid hourly. So if it takes them 7 hours to do something, they're getting paid for 7 hours. Whereas an independent transaction coordinator is always looking for something to help them to be more efficient in their transactions. And that efficiency trickles down to your clients. Your clients are going to see that, they're going to feel that. So it is a completely different feel in a transaction when you have an independent transaction coordinator over an in-house coordinator. In conclusion, it is more beneficial to hire an independent transaction coordinator over an in-house coordinator. If you are interested in learning more about how we can help you, I would love to schedule a discovery call with you. You can reach me at 815-293-7701. You can either call or text me at that number, or you can send me an email at info@amplifiedtransactions.com. Thank you so much for stopping by, and be sure to like and subscribe so you can hear all of our updates and new videos to come. Thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one.